colleague Ian Davis, because he's having a few problems with the Fleek installation he's got right now, and we're going to capture you right here. I will send you the screenshots of the problems that I have with permissions, and there we've been doing some live dog fooding of your demo. I would like to welcome to the stage my colleagues, Philippa Ribeiro, did I say that right? And Danny O'Brien. And we're going to talk about the actual dog fooding process, some of the stuff that we've learned in the user experience improvement team, the things we see over and over again as we test ecosystem projects, and then we're going to do live testing. We should have put you on this slide as well. Dog fooding. Wow. And then we're going to do 2, maybe 3, if we've got enough stamina, live dog fooding sessions of a couple of tools, and we'll collate that feedback and give it back to the teams. I'm going to hand over to Mr. Danny O'Brien.
All right. You should just sit down, because this is not going to take a while, but maybe a little bit. Okay, my name's Danny O'Brien. Do I have a thing for like doing slides where I press a button or I point at someone or I have a clicker? Yes. I have a clicker? That's literally what this is. It's a demo and a dog fooding. Cool. What I've really enjoyed throughout this whole thing, I've now been to like 3 venues in this building, and all of them have been really well supported by AV, but have people like me who just have this moment of absolute stage anxiety where they're going, what do I point at? Do I click my own face? Do I click the people over there? Do I click there? That's fine. I think my role in this is to... No, I can't. Yeah, I can do it. Okay, it's all right. I can just do it using my hands. So why dog fooding? Particularly why the term? It's kind of a vile term, like you instantly start thinking, if you're in a good mood, you start thinking about Iggy Pop, and if you're in a bad mood, you start thinking about dog food, so it's a slightly unpleasant term. Why do we do it now? And mostly, why do we do it to you? Like, if you've volunteered to doing dog fooding session with us now, it's kind of stressful because it's like a demo, like you've seen, and those brilliant demos, but it's other people doing your demo. And if you've ever watched other people using your software, it's terrifying. They have no idea what they're doing. Suddenly they're doing things that you would never want them to even go near, and it's chaos. And the other question you are, if you're slightly more advanced, is why us, right? Why me, Philippa, Steph, and the rest of the UXit team? We're part of the Filecoin Foundation. Thank you. And the Filecoin Foundation does a bunch of things. You may have received a grant from us. You may be using some of the infrastructure and resources. It's sort of, you can have a little bit of centralization in a decentralized network as a treat, and we are that treat. But it's unusual to have a user interface team in that kind of centralized space. I believe Ethereum does, but not many. And I want to explain why. So this is a short film. This is from IPFS. It's about 40 minutes long. No, I wouldn't do that to you. If you want to watch it, there are many things that are interesting about this. It's an introduction to dog food. I'm also even worse prepared slides. I love this. This is on YouTube, and it just says words here. That's like my slides are called "Click here to add title." No, don't worry, I'm not going to play it. That is literally not a YouTube video. I screen captured that because I was terrified I was going to press the button and it was going to start playing and I wouldn't know. We explained dog fooding there. In particular, I sort of dog food the IPFS space. And in this case, the argument I was making to the IPFS community is that we need to use our own tools, right? If you are building a site on Filecoin, or about Filecoin, you should use Fleek, right? You should have an IPFS supported website, right? If you're sending files across, you should use IPFS. Not out of some sense of moral duty, but it's a really... though that, of course, too. But it's a really good way of shaking out the bugs, right? Like, and the phrase dogfooding actually comes from Bill Gates, so he's the one with the horrible imagery. It's about eating your own dog food, right? Taking the tools that you make and trying them out yourself. So after screaming and hectoring at the IPFS people, much to their enjoyment, we went back and we said, you know, this is actually something that we need to expand throughout the whole of the Filecoin stack, which is libp2p, IPFS, Filecoin, and if you've seen Juan's talks in the last few days, we view the Filecoin ecosystem as an extremely large space, right? It's not just level 1, it's not even just level 2, it's all of these different tools from tools like Secure Finance to tools like Fleek to some of the other tools that you've seen demoed today, right? And very often, people are pulling these systems together, right? When they are either acting as builders, they're pulling together these components from different parts. And even if you are just coming to use Filecoin as a consumer, you're probably coming in at lots of different directions. And this makes usability extremely challenging. This isn't a problem unique to the Filecoin ecosystem by any means. My friend over there from the Google Summer of Code who got into free software, we recognize in our experience doing open source software, people go, oh, your usability sucks, and we go, yeah, but at least I'm right. But that isn't enough, right? And so one of the things that we work very hard with in the open source community is to get over some of the challenges that decentralization and distributed knowledge production and development causes for usability and try to fix those. And the biggest challenge for us Filecoin and more generally is the golden path, right? So I didn't realize before I put together this talk that the golden path is something that has a lot of different meanings. For instance, it's a song, it's a Singaporean TV series, it's all of these things. Of course, the one I want to talk about today is from Dune. It's the vision that the Bene Gesserit and no, once again, don't worry, I'm not going to show you a 3-hour film. I'm actually talking about the golden path in software. So this is also known as the happy path, right? This is the path that users go through in their user experience when nothing goes wrong, okay? And like when you're working in a centralized environment, that's something that you can monitor, right? Whether you're running a web service or you're building an app, you can create metrics, and you have some control over the whole of the golden path. And if something goes wrong in that, either in the onboarding stage of it, or the payment stage, or so forth, right? You can clear that out of the way because you want absolutely no friction in the golden path. Because the moment anyone bounces off any of that, you have a completely lost customer and a completely sour experience, right? So this is one of the things that actually led to centralization. The reason why Apple consolidates both hardware and software is so that they can secure the golden path. You're not hit with trying to install drivers that don't work. One of the reasons why Facebook exists, rather than a decentralized social media network, or one of the other tools like email that existed prior to that, is Facebook can have absolute control over all of your golden path, right? And this is one of the challenges with a decentralized network. To be more, what are you laughing? To be more specific about, we have multiple golden paths. Now let me give you an example. Is anyone here from Sriracha? Good. All right. No, it's fine. Actually, I'm a huge fan of Sriracha. For those of you who don't know, it's another fantastic onboarding system if you want to store large amounts of data and you want to use really high-level decentralized tooling like capabilities. You should absolutely use Sriracha, and lots of people do use it. I'm going to do a confessional thing here in that a few days ago I went to use it, but I went to use it as a first-time user again. I've used Sriracha on a regular basis. I'm a subscriber. I demoed it to a bunch of people a few hours ago upstairs in Funding the Commons, and it's great. And you should try it. There's the link. It has this marvelous onboarding system where you can just click a button and start storing. I clicked on the button, and it broke. It didn't work. Now, that's kind of fine in a way because Storacha will notice that, right? We'll have systems to notice it. But it's one of the biggest inroads into the Filecoin network, right? And the reason why Storacha has a lot going on, they have to concentrate on a bunch of things, so they don't necessarily follow all of these on-ramps. What we want to do in the UXit team is to create and enforce and help the golden path across all of the Filecoin network. And the way we can do that is help provide resources for you. The moment that we detected that this was wrong, we jumped into action, we talked to the Storacha team, and they had it fixed really quickly. Now what we're talking about is building integration tests so that across the system, so we can chart the integration, the golden path across the whole of our network. Again, if you've heard Juan talk about the importance of dashboard and metrics, then you will realize that one of the things that we need to do is to create this pattern, right? But once we know where these roadblocks are, like what we also have to do is be able to have the resources to jump in and fix it. So that's what you're going to see and hopefully get some help from in the next hour or so. What we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about the lessons we've learned jumping in and helping people in this way. Also, we'll get to see, you'll be able to dog food some of the tools yourself, right? You'll be able to play around with some of the really exciting things that are coming out, and you'll be able to see, possibly for the first time, what an average user goes through when they hit some pebble or stone on the golden path. It's always great to see that when you're dog fooding somebody else's work, because it gives you ideas. Also, you can feel smug and go, I would never do that. It's terrifying to have it done to yourself. That's absolutely true. But that feeling is the beginning of understanding your user, and that's the beginning of product market fit, and that's the beginning of success. So I'm going to now pass to Philippa. What? Shall I show them the picture? So, okay, all right, you dug it up. So this was when we originally pitched this to UXit, this was the design, which I think was really early GPT design, actually. And this is how we want you, we want to, oh, that's right, I used Fiverr, the people's chat GPT. And this is how you should think about us, right? We're the United Nations, only a little bit more functional, and we will try and unblock and fix anything across the entire world, the entire ecosystem of Filecoin. And if you are a user and you hit a problem and you don't know who to call, is that the A-Team or the Ghostbusters? Come to us and we will find the right person to fix that problem because that will help us understand.
At one point we're going to be called the unblocking team, which is why it's the plunger.
Okay, yes, that would be useful context. Okay, now I'm going to give it over to Philippa. Thanks very much.